Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Pokemon Go. Two really cool things have happened that I'm going to talk about in this episode. Number one is the update which has come out, which lets you have a buddy Pokemon. So I'm going to be looking at some of those. Oh my gosh guys, look. Literally as I'm filming, the cats have just started a war. Darcy won. And then the second thing is that something awesome has just arrived in the mail, and I can't wait to show this to you guys. So this is one of the reasons they released that update. It's the Pokemon Go Plus. So this is a little extra kind of thing that you wear on your wrist. It will connect to my phone and it will connect to the app, and it will do all kinds of awesome things in the background for me. So Evie and I are gonna head out right now. We're gonna give this a go. We're gonna give the new update a go, trying out those buddy Pokemon, building up some candies, and basically just seeing what this is all about. Evie, are you ready for some walkies? Are you ready for some walkies? Who's a pretty one? Oh, Baba, you don't look that ready for walkies. Evie knows as soon as she goes outside, she's like, I have to get in the car. I have to get in the passenger side. Let me let you in, little bun. There we go. Good girl. Usually she's in my knee on Ali's car, but Baba, you can't sit. Baby, what are you doing? You can't sit on my knee while I'm driving, silly bum. But because Ali's away at the moment, she is in my car. So you have to sit in the passenger side, little boo-boo. Come on, over here. There you go. Who's a good girl? We will definitely get you a little doggy car seat belt. Don't you worry, little miss, but we're not going very far today. So Ali is away at the moment. This is one of my first like solo YOLO episodes of Pokemon Go. It's really sad. He's in Ohio. It's Thursday now. He's been in Ohio since Monday. And it's been really hard. I hate him being away from home so much. I don't like being in the house on my own, and I miss him so much. So I'm not really doing very well. I don't eat when he's not there because I'm like, I can't bother to cook a meal for one person. And yeah, I'm not doing very well without him. I don't like it. I think somebody else wanted to come Pokemon Go with me and Evie. Oh, I'm sorry, little Darcy Parcy. I wish it was more socially acceptable to walk cats, little baby. Me and the ultimate Pokemon Go partner, Evie BB, have just arrived at Lily Hill Park. It looks a bit quiet. It's got a little bit later than I wanted it to get. I had to be on calls until like 6:30, so I couldn't set off until then. And it was so sunny today, and then suddenly like a thunderstorm just kicked off. So hopefully it holds off and we get a little bit more light. But first of all, before we get into the park, I thought we would unbox the Pokemon Go Plus. So here it is in all its glory. It arrived today. Ali's also arrived, but I haven't opened that. I've left that for him to do. I didn't want to be carrying the box all around the park with me, so let's see what's inside. Those are your instructions manuals that nobody ever reads. And here is the Plus itself. It's tiny. It reminds me of the little pedometer that we used on Soul Silver. I think mine still has my Jolteon in there, just hanging out, always to remain in there. Pull this out. Oh my gosh, my fingers don't possess the strength. There we go. And then this is a little wristband to wear with it. So there we go, it fits even my little skinny wrist. Okay, so you have to screw it into place. Like, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little screw on here, and you actually have to screw that into place and take like the clip off and screw it onto your wrist strap. And I don't have a screw with me. Like, Ali's the one that has the toolkit, so I have to wait for him to come back. For now, we're just gonna use it as it is, kind of like on its own. It's flashing already. So, now to connect with Pokemon Go. As you can see, I've got my little Dratini hanging out with me. Dratinis are so hard to find, so that's going to be my buddy for the day. I'll talk about buddies a little bit more in a second, but for now, we go into settings. So into settings, my little Pokemon Plus is right here. Click this, then as soon as you click this, it pops up straight away. Like that popped up really quickly. So if I click this on here, Bluetooth pairing, so they're pairing via Bluetooth. This just a little vibrated in my hands. It's connected, successfully connected to Pokemon Go Plus. These two little guys are connected now. I'm gonna clip this to my jeans. Let's go out and start using the Pokemon Go Plus. This is gonna be so much better for my battery life. So you'll know it's connected properly because you'll get this at the top of your screen. Pokemon Go is using your location. So I know that's all connected. I can just lock my phone and I know that it's running in the background. Bonus silly background of me and Ali. So only one thing left to do now. Look at that sad little face. Come on, baby. Good girl, good girl. Gonna get your little lead. Come on then, beautiful. Come on, baby. Come Come on. Rocky's this way. Rocky's this way. So I'm just walking around the park now with Evie. My Pokemon Go Plus is connected to me down there, and what that should be doing in the background, if it's working properly, is it will give me an alert when there's either a Pokestop nearby or when there's a Pokemon nearby. And what I should be able to do is just click that button, and if it's at Pokestop, it will just pull in those items for me, or if there's a Pokemon around, it will try and catch the Pokemon for me, which is pretty cool. I have been reading a little bit on Reddit and on Silph Road as well. There have been some users that have said that unfortunately it will only try and catch your Pokemon with a Pokeball. So the success rates aren't amazing. They may add more functionality later on, but for now it is just with a Pokeball. The Pokemon Go Plus will also track, well, it doesn't really track steps. It kind of just tracks the distance, I guess, in between when it pings the GPS, but it will track how far I've been going without me needing to have my phone on, which is such a benefit because you know how much this app drains your battery. So that's doing all that in the background. It's tracking all my distance, which is even more important with the buddy update. Some scouts or something? And Evie's really excited. She wants to go say hello. Hey, Baba. So on the subject of Evie BB, some of you guys, if you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted earlier in the week that she's just running by, that we'd had a bit of a scare over the weekend. It was right after Legends of Gaming. It was outside a park at Alexandra Palace, and essentially Evie got attacked by two Staffordshire Bull Terriers. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. I think you don't really appreciate how scary a dog attack is, especially when it's your own dog. I mean, the other dogs are so much bigger and stronger until you're there, because it happens so fast. And it's so frantic and it's so loud. Like, they were really aggressively barking and growling and snarling, and Evie was just screaming. Like, she was screaming and crying. Like, it was horrible. It was so horrible. I know dogs aren't meant to cry, but when I picked her up afterwards, she had tears down her face. She was covered in her own wee. She was that terrified. And they were fully on top of her. The only reason that she's still alive today is, one, that I never take my eye off her. So I saw her looking over at them, and she was kind of wagging her tail, and she was really, like, she wanted to go say hello, but she was a good 20 feet from them. And essentially I spotted her looking at them, and I tried to get her attention, tried to get her to come back to me. She wouldn't, and then they just turned and ran at her. And they both were connected to each other on a lead, but the guy wasn't holding them. And they just plowed straight into her. Like, they ran 20 feet in a matter of seconds, plowed straight into her, knocked her completely off her feet, and she was already crying at that point. And then they just turned and they were on her. Like, luckily she was on her back, so she was kind of trying to kick them off. I was already screaming and running over, and then I just threw myself on their lead to try and pull them off. And they were so strong that I got pulled onto the floor straight away. Ali ran over. Our friends James and Grace were there. James Wizite, he was there. He ran over, and he managed to hold one dog back while Ali and I were holding the other. Like, Ali had one in a grip, and the dog was so strong that it broke the collar that he was holding onto and turned around in his arms. He turned around too, kicked me in the face. Ali and I were literally on the floor fighting this dog. And because he kicked me, I stood up, which was good, because the second that we gave Evie to escape, she ran. So I ran after her. The guy that was owning the dog was just stood there doing nothing. He wasn't trying to help. He wasn't trying to call them off. He was doing nothing. So I ran after Evie. There was a crowd of people. Not one of them picked up this screaming puppy that's running by them, scared out of her mind. And eventually I found her. Like, she was wide-eyed. She was scared of me at first, but then she realized who I was, and I could just scoop her up and hug her. She was shaking, I was shaking. At one point Ali was holding both Evie and I. We were both crying our eyes out, and it was a really horrible experience. And since then we're definitely a bit more wary of other dogs, but she's still a little sweetheart. Like, we took her to see Ella the other day, and she still loves Ella. But yeah, it was definitely a scary experience. That was a Pokestop update, and we've received 3 new items from our Pokestop by clicking our Pokemon Go Plus while we got that alert. Another alert. Let's see what it could be. Do we click it again? Pokemon fled. Okay, you can click it again. It goes white. When it goes white, I think that's when it's trying to catch Pokemon. Unfortunately, in that case, the Pokemon fled. I didn't manage to catch one through the Pokemon Go Plus yet, but I'm gonna keep trying. So when your Pokemon Go Plus is connected, you will get this little Pokemon stop icon in the corner there, the little plus icon. It's telling me that a Pokemon is in range. Obviously I can't see that in the screen, but my little Go Plus down there is flashing loads of colours. So it's kind of acting as a radar for me to find Pokemon in the area, which is really cool. When it goes grey, it means it's lost connection, and I have to say that since I've been trying this out, I have lost connection a few times. But this is really cool, so it's going to tell me ahead where I can get this Pokemon. Let's try and get this Pokestop through the app. Okay, so there we go, I'm getting all the buzzers. That means that there's a Pokestop. Give it a press, and all those little flashes there that aren't quite in focus, they mean that I've just got some items from the Pokestop. So Evie was just saying hello to a little bitch on freeze over there. Hello? I don't know why she was saying it like that. To another little puppy dog over there. And then look what notification we got. You've caught a Pokemon. So the app actually caught the Pokemon for me. Let's see what it was as well. Before we do, an egg is hatching. So let's first of all see what this is gonna be. Be something good, come on, I've not had a good egg in so long. No. No, not a great egg. A Voltop, it's not too bad, it's not too bad. But anyway, let's go now to our recent list. And it was Drowsy. Actually, I think it may have caught 2 Drowsies since we've been here, which is pretty cool. It was 685 as well, so it's actually done quite well to catch that with a Pokeball. Well done, little Pokemon Go Plus. So while little Evie Beavie and I are just chilling in the grass here, we thought we'd tell you a little bit more about the buddy system that's come to Pokemon Go. So as you can tell right now, I am rocking a Dratini as my buddy on Pokemon Go. And what the buddy system essentially does, which is really smart, is you can walk, the app's always been designed as a walking app. It gets you out, it gets you walking around and exploring. And this just adds to it, because what you can do now is just walking around with your buddy will allow you to accumulate candies, which is great if you live in an area where you don't get the best variation of Pokemon, but every now and again you might get a really good egg Pokemon. So Dratini is a great example for me. I don't get Dratinis where I am, and I really want a Dragonite, so not getting Dratinis is really annoying. However, with this new update, I can now walk with that one Dratini that I get from an egg and keep accumulating candies. The problem is that not all Pokemon seem to be created equal when it comes to candies. Some of them take only 1 kilometer to unlock a candy, others are 3. And unfortunately for me, with the Dratini, it's 5 kilometers. Now I've got a picture here which one of you guys tweeted me, so thank you. It shows how far you need to walk for each Pokemon to unlock the candy for it. It seems to be kind of random. I would say that the 5k ones do tend to be the Pokemon that people want a little bit more, so they are kind of like your more high caliber Pokemon. So if you want a Dragonite, you are still gonna have to walk a really long way to get one. But there's some surprising ones in there as well. I think a Pikachu is a 1 kilometer one, which is fantastic because I definitely don't get that many Pikachus, and I would love a Raichu. So that's a really, really nice little bonus in there. Another bonus in there is that some Pokemon will ride on your shoulder. I'm not going to do it now because if I change my buddy, I lose my progress. So I will lose my 2.4 kilometers with my Dratini if I change it. However, I was carrying my little Eevee Beavie around yesterday in the app as my buddy, and I tweeted you guys photos. She appeared on my shoulder, so thank you so much for the guys that tipped me on that and said try out the Eevee. Eevee will ride on your shoulder. Pikachu will ride on your shoulder after you've walked for 10 kilometers. That's a nice little Easter egg because that's almost like Ash's Pikachu never wanted to be inside the Pokeball, and then once they built up that friendship, the Pikachu actually did ride on his shoulder quite a lot. So I really like that Easter egg. I've also seen a Caterpie that one of you guys tweeted me riding on a shoulder. If you guys know of any other Pokemon that have this nice little shoulder Easter egg, please let me know in the comments. I would love to give them a go. And if you know of any more Easter eggs like the Pikachu one, then let me know as well. One thing that I thought was really interesting about the buddy update is how different some of the Pokemon sizes are compared to how you picture them in your head. So I think in the anime, Ash had a really bad Charizard that never listened to him, but I always got the feeling it was kind of like in the games, if you got a Charizard from a friend and it leveled up really quickly because it was a trade Charizard, after a certain level, if you didn't have enough gym badges, it would start ignoring you. And that's kind of what Ash's Charizard did. But in the anime, it looked so huge. And then next to Ash, next to your character in the game, it looks so tiny, like Charizard, Blastoise. These Pokemon are nowhere near as big as you'd think they would be. Even Gyarados is not that big, but others are kind of surprisingly huge. So Abra is a big Pokemon. Muk is a huge Pokemon. Rapidash looks amazing. If you've got a Rapidash, please try it out on the buddy system because it will look so cool at the side of your character. Not Dragonite, but a Dragonair, so that's the evolution of Dratini. Looks huge. I actually replied to one of you guys on Twitter because I couldn't believe how big Dragonair was. It looks so cool. So let me know what buddy you guys are rocking. I'm guessing it's going to be something that you can't get easily in your area, or it's just something that you need candies on because you want to boost it, you want to give it a power up. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys are rocking, and as you can see right now, Dratini is what I'm going to go for. I'm on 2.4 out of 5k. Hopefully I will be unlocking that candy soon. Something else? Can we do it through the app? Even if we're actually in the app? Yeah, it just did a Pokestop for me. Even though I was on the app on my phone, I can still press this little guy and it will do the Pokestop for me. It's like the ultimate lazy way to get those Pokestops. Okay, Papa, back in the car. Go on, into your seat. Good girl. Good girl. You know where you're going, don't you? So guys, that was the Pokemon Go Plus. I think it's definitely handy if you just want to walk around, grind out Pokestops and get as much stuff as you can without having to take out your phone. I think if you actually wanted to catch Pokemon, then it's good in the radar system, so it tells you when a Pokemon is near, which is really handy. It's really handy to use. However, I personally didn't really like that it didn't tell me which Pokemon was near. I know it's just a bunch of flashing lights, so it can't really do that, but I would have quite liked it if when a Pokemon was near, it showed maybe on your lock screen what name the Pokemon was, so then you could decide whether you wanted the app to have a go with Pokeballs or whether you wanted to try have a go at catch it yourself, because I would hate for a really, really rare Pokemon to pop up and then the app lets it flee because you try and do it through the Pokemon Go Plus. That was just my thoughts. Also, I don't know if you guys have worked this out better than me, but I can't really tell the difference in a buzz that's a Pokestop and a buzz that's a Pokemon. Okay, so no sooner had I told you guys that I didn't know what the colours meant, I figured out what the colours meant. So, if it flashes green, like it's doing now, that means a Pokemon has appeared. So, if a Pokemon appears, you click it once, it will then flash white, like in double pulses. This is it trying to catch the Pokemon. Sometimes it lasts a little while, sometimes it's really short, and when that happens, it's trying to catch the Pokemon. Straight after that finishes, you'll either get lots of different colour flashes in a row. That means you've caught the Pokemon. Or you will get 3 pulsy, like red flashes, and that means the Pokemon has fled. So, another Pokemon has appeared, we click it, we get the white flashes, and then there we go. So the clicking, again, doesn't make the difference, but I did manage to catch that Pokemon, which is really cool. I'm gonna take a little walk up there and just show you guys how it looks with a Pokestop. Another Pokemon has appeared as we're nearby, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Does that mean the Pokemon's caught? Yes, so those little white pulses are the ball rolling. If it does one of the white pulses and then it flashes red 3 times, that means the Pokemon's broke open of the ball on the first roll and has fled. You need it to do all 3 of those to be able to catch the Pokemon. Now look how dark it is, like the UK has the shortest summer ever. We are right next to a Pokestop. I know that there's one just on this corner here, so hopefully I'm gonna get that little blue. Yes, here we go. So this is the Pokestop flash. Obviously there's no waiting for balls, you just click it and then you're instantly rewarded with your little flash, which means you've got items from the Pokestop, which is really handy. So I would never play Pokemon Go while I was driving. However, you can hold a little flashing orb while you're driving and just click it when it vibrates, which is exactly what I was doing on the way here. And as you can see, like, you get a lot of Pokemon while you're here. So I'm getting Pokemon that are fleeing, Pokemon that are being caught, items at the Pokestop, all that in just a really short drive. So if you are just really needing some more Pokeballs, some more eggs, some more raspberries, the Pokemon Go Plus will be so handy for that. So now that I've figured out that, back to the original outro. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on the Pokemon Go Plus and on the Pokemon Buddy update. Let me know if you're using the Plus, let me know what buddy you guys are rocking as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!